In this video, I'm going to show you how I made the audio and music on my phone louder with this nice phone stand amplifier that I've made from a bunch of scrap offcut woods that I found in my workshop. So let me show you how I got this done. Well, for construction purpose, or to start this with, I basically used a bunch of offcuts and scrap wood that I had lying around. So you'll see it's small pieces basically. So what I started at the back with was a plain piece of wood like this. I made it to the length. This will be the bottom part where the chamber will be for the sound. And then this will be a part of the top part where the phone will slip in. What I then did was I made another cutout from another piece of wood. This would be coming on top of this one like this, even at the bottom. And then on the top of this, I made a bigger cutout which still needs a hole in the middle. Now the hole in the middle I will definitely be cutting out with a hole saw. This is about a 2-inch hole saw, a bit slightly just over 2 inch, maybe 2 1/3 or so. This will be on top of that, and then from the offcuts on the sides of these, you'll see these little wedges that came off, and it just so happens that they fit then perfectly on next to the bottom side, which will then be housing the middle piece and the top piece, or piece not peach, which will have a hole in it. And then this will be able to stand up like that in the end. Now you'll see, if you view from the top, the middle part will have a bit of a gap, and obviously that would be a place for the phone to slip in. Now the top part is basically just to keep the phone from falling forward. And then in the middle, you'll see a big gap in the centerpiece here. That's for the speakers, depending on which phone it is, somewhere at the bottom, to echo into the chamber at the bottom here. The front part, like I said, then will have a hole with the hole saw. And then the edges of the hole, I'm going to chamfer with a 45-degree bit like this. And then just the overall edges or the sides of this thing, I'll round over with a edge like this in the router. So what I'm going to have to do next is stick all of this together. I'm going to glue that together like so, glue this one on top, that on the top of that, and then in the end I'll sand this all down a bit once it's nicely stuck together and so on. So it'll give you a slight bit of a angled edge like this, just slightly, so it leans a slight bit backwards. This is quite thick, as you can see at the bottom, so this will not fall over on its own. This will be quite fun even if the weight of the software is in there. But for aesthetic purposes, just to look a bit nicer, I'm just going to angle it backwards a slight bit. We're going to sand it off at the bottom once it's all stuck together. So let me drill the hole and then glue it all together, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is the lot put together. Like you can see, I've layered the three, or pasted or glued the 3 layers together. This is like 19mm wood, so that's what, like 3/4 of an inch. So 3 is like a bit more than 2 inches, so that's fine. It's nice and steady. I have at the bottom, you'll see that there's a bit of an angle at the bottom. It's about a 3 to 5 degree angle that I've made at the bottom, just so it stands like that on its own, nice and steady. It doesn't need a foot piece. You can put a foot piece, obviously a bigger one if you want to, but in this case I haven't done so. I've drilled a hole in the middle, and then I've chamfered the edge at a 45-degree angle like that, and a slight bit to give a bit more of a speaker or a megaphone effect. And I've then also rounded over the edges on the front, obviously not the bottom, and the back, just to make it look a bit nicer. I just have to sand the body filler or the wood filler there a bit, the holes that was in the wood, and thereafter I'll probably just varnish it a bit. You'll probably see that in the video picture, or in the profile picture, or the thumbnail if you want to call it that. So what the idea is now, for this to stand like so. Now you'll put your phone in the top like this, and since most phone speakers are at the bottom, I've made a nice big gap at the bottom there to accommodate most phones. This is quite wide. This is 12 centimeters. I think it's about 4 inches if I have to eyeball it and estimate. But anyway, so, and it's quite high, so most phones of nowadays will fit in there. It's quite thick. Like I said, this is 19mm thick, or 3/4 of an inch thick as well. Just to give you an example, I've got a couple of demo phones here, from smaller size to simply or slightly bigger size, like you can see over there. This is from old, still newer phones. You can see the smaller one still fits in there quite nicely if you want to tilt it a bit. doesn't fall through the hole. The slightly newer one, let's just open the cap. Well, not slightly new one, still old, but the slightly bigger one still fits in there with plenty of space on the sides to the left if you want to put in a bigger phone. And then a even bigger one also still fits depending on the size of it. And obviously you can go bigger up to the newest Samsung Galaxies and iPhones and so on. They all do fit in there quite nicely, but plenty of space. So this is the main idea. Now, I did try to play a tune on the camera, but the camera just doesn't justify the difference. But there is a significant difference in the sound being amplified. Since the speaker is at the bottom, some phones have them on the top as well, which is fine. It's not a problem. But the speaker then plays into the bottom chamber like that in there. You can see my fingers in from the bottom here. So this whole chamber, if I can put it like that, is hollow at the bottom. You can see it through there as well. Nice hollow chamber. It's not humongously big, but it is big enough to make a significant difference in the sound that comes out of your phone. So you put this down, you put your phone in the top, and you play your music or song or whatever. And another reason I'm not going to play a song or anything of the sort is just for copyright protection. And I don't want to get involved in that at the moment. So this is the completed project then. I'm going to slightly stain it like you'll see in the thumbnail. And that will basically be it. Stands nice and steady. I'm going to sand it. And then you can obviously paint this any color. You can stain it any color. You can personalize this, put a name or something on top. In the back, you can write a message if you wish. You can use different types of wood. This is pieces of pine wood that was laying around. So this is generally a scrap wood project. Not a scrap project, just a scrap wood project. And I would say it came out very nicely. So if you do like this project and you do like the video and some of the other projects that I've made, please be sure to like this video and also consider subscribing to my channel. If you wish to subscribe or support my channel, please have a look at the super thanks icon down below as well. So until next time, thank you very much, guys.